99.3 Nigeria Info. Good morning to you, Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to Dailies, to the second part. I'm Sheriff Quadry.
And I'm Jimi. Disu. Good morning.
That's right. We've got the papers here. Let's begin. By the way, you can watch the show on Facebook and on YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3 is how you can watch. Page 22 of the Daily Trust is where we're picking our first story from. Inside politicians' pilgrimage to Babylon.
Okay. My ears are busting. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is a beautiful story. Incidentally, it's the Trust that is published in the North that got this story, at least from the papers I've seen today. And they're giving an indication of the various visitors that the president had, various visitors he got over his stay in Lagos. I think he must have gone back yesterday. Okay, and in order not to waste time, because we really don't have much time, the story says that many politicians and business moguls, have turned the Babylon residence of the president into a Mecca. I can imagine, Sheriff, the stream of visitors who want to, not to go and eat the president's Ileya ram. Can you imagine how many rams that the president would have?
I can't imagine.
I don't think they went for the rams. I think most of them would have gone for things that are things that are related to quote and unquote their progress. Okay, and the president was an astute politician. You always have to give that to him. By the time I go through the list of some of the people, you know that he's warming up for 2027. He's warming up seriously. Fubara was there, according to this story. The story says amongst those that were in Lagos to see the president, he's still shrouded in secrecy. He might not be connected with the military. I also suspect that it might have something to do. I won't be surprised at all. I'm not going to consider it breaking news if I hear that Fubara eventually decamps to the APC. But we'll see how that goes. Another surprise visitor or surprise visitors to the president during his vacation, during his stay in Lagos, were the Adelekes. Davido, the governor of Osun State, and his brother. They also went to visit the president. Now, let me make it clear that I have a very strong feeling that the governor's brother and Cherubawon were at the very least friends of the president from times past. So that visit is not surprising. The surprising part, of course, is that of the governor coming in tow. And the visit apparently was even announced by the governor Adeleke on his official Twitter account. He said that this evening, alongside the scion of the Adeleke dynasty, my elder brother Didier Adeleke, and my nephew, whom we were immensely proud of, Davido, we paid a courtesy visit to the president at his Lagos residence. Details, of course, of the meeting were not known, but there is also a strong suspicion that the Adelekes may be making efforts to join the APC and abandon the PDP, which, to be honest with you, appears to be a kind of sinking ship. That's my view. Because even this morning, Kofi was announcing some PDP people in Lagos. Everybody's rushing to the APC. Okay, so there were no details of the meeting, and of course, the analysis is that everybody. Meanwhile, though, the APC in Osun are fretting. There are some concerns within the APC in Osun itself, and they have said there is no vacancy, because look at it this way: if Governor Adeleke is going to defect, he's going to be asking for a second term as conditions, and meanwhile, there are one or two members of the APC who have been eyeing that seat for long. So that is going to be interesting to see. The other person who also went to see the president was Pastor Tunde Bakare. Again, Pastor Tunde Bakare is friendly with the president. And I need to let people understand something. The fact that you are a public critic is not enmity. You are not enemies. I saw people going up in arms. What has he gone to do there? No. He has the fact that you criticize doesn't. You are not enemies. You don't hate him. Of course, I know that is propaganda when people always say that he hates him. He hates him. No. Pastor Tunde Bakare did a fantastic critique of President Tinubu's tenure, and I'm sure that the president must have taken some time to listen to him. One thing I give credit to the president for is that he's open-minded. And that's the way to play politics. In politics, there are no permanent friends and enemies. There are permanent interests. So the fact that he criticized the president doesn't make him an enemy. They've been friends for only God knows how long. They've been in the trenches together. So he too paid a visit. And I was very glad at his response when he was asked what he came to do. And he said that whatever he discussed with the president is not for public consumption. That is the way matured people. Look, let's look at it this way. What if the president called him and said, Tunde, sit down, Joko now. I heard what you said. Can you give me suggestions about how I could do this and I could do that? Why the president is the president today is because over and above everything, he's open-minded.
He is.
You must give that to him. He's very open-minded. So he too went, and there's speculations about why he went. But listen to what he said, or what he said to have said. He said, my personal vision is to see a nation that works in my lifetime. And those things I've discussed with Mr. President. He's not a contender. And when he ran for the primaries and got 0, I think he even forgot to vote for himself. I don't know if he won anything, but anyway. So the president also met Governor Mutfwang, that's his name, the governor of Plateau State, and Bagudu, amongst others. Then yesterday, photographs shows that a very strong critic of the president, who apparently is still, I think, is still in the PDP, strong PDP man, Sheikh Mushomi, also showed up. Seun Okinbaloye took him on, and he was neither here nor there in his response. What I need to tell Sheikh Mushomi, though, is that in his own case, he's a highly politically exposed person, and he should make up his mind what he wants to do. The optics of whether you're here or there, I don't think it will be beneficial to anybody at the end of the day. But he has said categorically that if he takes up an appointment with the president, if he decides to take an appointment with the president, he will leave the PDP. So the question now is he on his way out of the PDP? That's none of my business. Politicians are the same everywhere. It's always about personal interest. And times are hard, Sheriff. Times are hard. I'm not referring to him now. I'm just talking generally. All these schemes and at the end of the day, really and truly are for personal purposes, to put it politely. You wanted to say something?
I wanted to ask whether you think that what Alindume said about defection and endorsements and all of that, that the president should be careful. A lot of people are rushing to the APC and a lot of politicians are lobbying to be accepted into the APC at the moment. And Alindume said, look, the president better be careful because when Jonathan lost, prior to his defeat, he was endorsed by 22 governors.
I don't think the president needs Alindume's advice to know that. The president is always ahead of his game politically. He knows the kind of characters he's dealing with. You trust a politician at your own peril. All these ups will be going on. We don't know what's actually going to happen when 2027 comes and what's even going to happen behind the scene. So I think the president is keeping this up for optics, okay? Trying to show that, look, I'm available for bargaining. But the president knows he can't trust all these people. He knows very well. He knows most of them. See, when it comes, I have doubted I've doubted the capability of this gentleman to run the country as a corporate entity, and I still have my doubts. But when it comes to politics, I have to take a complete backseat. and give it to him. So he doesn't need Ndume. He doesn't need Ndume's endorsement. Ndume has interests that are at variance with the president's. And the one thing I would give to him is that he has shown it early enough to say that it's not part of that endorsement. There's going to be a lot of infighting, Sheriff. And people have their various tactics. He's shown his hand very early. And I hope he's putting on the right gloves to be able to take on the Tinubu faction within the party. So the president knows this. He knows this. He'll be chuckling at a lot of them. Oh, yes, he'll be chuckling at them. It's an actual, you see, unlike his supporters, well, most of them are not even, nothing to write home about, who make public commentaries. They don't understand this game. The president knows that there's no enemies, his interests. You understand? So he'll shake hands with anybody. Look at, he's taking Bawala, whatever that, he's taking him out of the way, giving him something to eat. That's one critic less. In Fanikayode, one critic less. Very soon he will go after Disu. What's that man's name?
Yes, Tega.
Very soon they will go after him, giving something that will make him happy. And they will all live happily ever after. But, the APC needs to be very, very careful about the wrath of the people. At the end of the day, the APC needs to gauge properly. All these decampments are not going to win elections for you if you don't do the needful for the people. And you need to keep your eyes on what is going on in other countries that surround us. You need to keep your eyes on Togo. Okay? You need to keep your eyes on Ivory Coast. So the APC, at the end of the day, need to go back to the drawing board and make life more palatable for the people. Once they do that, they might not have much of a problem.
Before we move away from the president, I also wanted to ask about the rumored settlement between the president and Governor Sanwo-Olu. You heard about it?
Yes, and okay, you were away last week, and I'm not going to say the president took my advice.
Okay,
but I was one of those who advised him that he had better tread carefully. What was the real reason behind the quarrel? To be honest with you, nobody can say categorically, because we had various accounts. But I think at the end of the day, the president again, you see, President, that man, he did the wise thing. Okay, they've settled it. Whether it's settled in his mind is neither. Tinubu is focused on power. Winning, making sure he doesn't lose his grip on Lagos, and making sure he's president in 2027 and probably beyond. That's why he's focused on. So it's whatever it takes, he'll be ready to do. But I put in a very strong case for the governor, like I did for Fashola way back then. You know, you also had same quarrel with Fashola, and I was one of those who threatened to go out to the streets to campaign for Fashola. We were going to force him into another party. And I think the president must learn to accommodate his support. They're not stooges. They're not going to do everything that you want them to do. And they shouldn't. Sometimes they do these things even to help you. But the president has one habit that I don't particularly like, and I wish those close to him should correct him. The fact that you quote and unquote made somebody, or like some who want to try to be humble say God used you to make somebody, you need to treat them also with some element of respect. I remember, I think I mentioned it last week at a public event when Buhari was in government. The vice president was there, the Oba was there. He was referring to them by their first names. You know, and it's wrong. The president, he needs to up his protocol manners. And give people due respect given to their positions. He was calling the Oniru of Oniru by first name. He was calling what's his name now? Oshibajo Yemi in public. He needs to learn to respect people you make these people fair enough. We give you that concession, but you also need to respect them. But every man has a weakness, and that's one of his. But he'll probably be chuckling and saying that whether you like it or not, it's worked for me. I mean, I'm the president, you are not. So, but all's well that ends well in the interim. Whether the issues will go away towards 2027, we are just not sure.
Indeed. Lagos, you're welcome if you're just tuning in. By the way, you can watch the show on Facebook and on YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3 is how you can watch it. Let's go take this next story. Page 10 of the Daily Trust. Another Tinubu's aide quits. One party state agenda, Wike listed as reasons.
Yeah, you see, whilst we're talking about the campaign, somebody is also close to the president, is quitting. And that's Alhaji Aliu Audu, who is a special assistant to the president on public affairs. I saw him on TV about a month ago trying to put up some defense. So I'm not surprised that he left. He found it very difficult to put up a very strong defense. And he expressed concern about what he described as an emerging attempt. Now, this is the president's essay on public affairs. Says an emerging attempt to turn Nigeria into a one-party state. And he said the alliance between President Tinubu and Wike contradicted his ideals as a progressive and promoter of democratic values. I give this man a lot of respect. He's a man of principle. He's a man, or he appears to be a man of principle. He said he's not defecting to the PDP, but he noted that the political posture of the current administration was not conducive for democracy to thrive. This is reported in the Trust. While commending Tinubu's economic reforms, Audu said his resignation was driven purely by political and democratic concerns. My resignation is not an act of rebellion, but of conscience. Though I do not align with the PDP, I refuse to be used directly or indirectly as an instrument to reduce Nigeria to a one-party state. That would be a betrayal of both divine favor and democratic principle. And it goes on. The full story is in the Daily Trust, and I think this is a man to watch. The question you ask is, how many more think like this? How many more of the president? That's why I say don't panic. What this defection should show you is who is on what divide, and it will expose the nature of certain persons at the very least. So sit back and watch, and let's see what is happening. We don't know how many more are feeling like this. We just don't know. If a man like a Disu, who put up a very strong position on president during the elections, could now turn around, then you don't know how many more are thinking in this direction. And an analyst has said it is a blow to the presidency. That's the way the analyst has described it. And I think it is a blow to the presidency in truth. Do we call this man a man of conscience, Sheriff?
No.
Yeah, okay.
He will always be a politician.
Okay. So politicians are not men of conscience?
I don't think so.
Or men of conscience are not politicians?
Either way, yeah. And frankly speaking, I don't think it's a blow. I don't think it's any blow. I mean, I can't compare him in any way, with due respect to his person, with due respect to his struggles, achievements, and everything. I can't compare him to Ajuri Ngelale, for instance. That to me is someone the presidency has missed, or will miss, or will continue to miss. But
he didn't step down. He didn't say he stepped down for political reasons.
Yes.
So he might show up again during the campaigns.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, let's take this other story from the Punch newspaper on page 18. Jonathan treatment comment: APC threatens to sanction Ndume.
Well, this is just for your information. Sheriff brought it up earlier, and the party says that while they allow different opinions, it also has established procedures for disciplining members who engage in misconduct. How this is misconduct, I honestly don't know. But all he has said is that, look, Oga, be cautious of all these endorsements. And I've already said that I don't think the president needs to be advised on that. He probably knows. Why that has become a problem. You see, rather than call him into a quiet corner and reach out to him and all this backing and whatever, with people trying to show their loyalty, the president knows who is useful to him. Whilst the president is doing all this, I'm sure he's probably quietly invite him to dinner one day and say, okay, what do you want? You know, fair, what do you want?
Leave me alone, this man. What do you want?
You know, fair.
Okay, now to Healthwise Plus page.
Yes, Healthwise Plus. I'm going to read one or two stories here before I get to the one that really frightens me. So I want you to be prepared to listen to this. Let's go. Experts fear duplication of duties as states reintroduce sanitary inspectors. Remember, Wole, it says some states have begun to reintroduce sanitary inspectors. Did I read somewhere that Lagos State is considering Environmental Day again?
Yeah, I think I heard somewhere.
I think I heard something like that.
Yeah.
Another story, it says that why healthcare professionals need more than clinical skills. Now to the big story. Listen carefully. Tell your children to run to the radio to listen to this. Listen. I'm sorry, this spoils business for some people, but health first. It says, regular consumption of shawarma may cause liver damage. Regular consumption. It doesn't say don't eat shawarma at all, but it says regular consumption of shawarma may cause liver damage. And the story says that health experts have raised concern over the high rate of consumption of fast foods, such as shawarma, noodles, sugary sodas, that's meal, and processed snacks amongst Nigerians, warning that such an unhealthy lifestyle could lead to liver damage. It says that these foods are high in unhealthy ingredients and can put a strain on the liver. So while the liver plays a vital role in detoxifying the body, metabolizing nutrients and regulating various bodily functions, the consumption of unhealthy foods could compromise liver function, leading to conditions such as fatty liver disease, cirrhosis, and liver cancer. Let me quickly add, it doesn't say don't eat shawarma. It doesn't say don't eat noodles, but regular consumption. So it's a case of moderation, really. Okay, so don't get frightened. It's a case of moderation. Okay. NIMR recommends national audit to tackle maternal deaths, and Lagos has moved to modernize healthcare with new digital record system. Okay, like I said, it doesn't say don't eat. Don't say Jimi Disu said on radio that don't eat shawarma. No, but just be careful. We can't be having a shawarma every evening and stuff like that. Be careful of some of these foods. There's nothing like the regular amala, iwedu, gbegiri, and bushmeat and things like that, really and truly. May heaven help us all. With modern living, you can't run away from these things. Can't run away from these things. Do you eat shawarma?
Yes, I do.
So do I. But the one that frightens me is that of sugary drinks.
The argument on Wazobia this morning on this particular story.
Oh, this same story.
Oh, yes. They argued for about an hour.
On this story. I think generally, especially when you get to a particular age, you take even water you take in moderation.
Right.
At the very least, so you don't go and wee on the bed. So you take everything and do everything in moderation and watch your body.
Right.
No two bodies are the same.
Indeed. Let's go to this editorial in the Vanguard newspaper. It's on page 18. Tinubu and the Mokwa flood disaster. Okay, so this editorial, let me go through it very quickly. It criticizes the president's reaction to the Mokwa flood and how the president had first sent the minister for information. And then when there was criticism, he then sent Shetima, because I had said on this program that he should have sent Shetima. Did the president listen to me? I don't know. But he sent Shetima. And he says that Tinubu can be given a pass mark for his response to this tragedy. However, the initial hesitation of leadership to put in presence at the disaster scene did not go unnoticed. Okay? It did not go unnoticed. And they say leadership is not a buffet.
leaders visiting disaster scenes and communicating with victims is only a show of empathy and is also an act of leading from the front.
Let's take this.
Yes, a bit of good, sad news and so on. It's 5 years, I think today, that our good friend, Pastor Itro Agodalo, lost his wife, Ibidoni, and this is 5 years. Time flies, the sheriff.
Yeah.
Time flies. And so he has a bunch of programs that are, to commemorate the 5 years that he's gone, which will culminate in the service on Sunday. But Itro Agodalo will be in the studio here on Friday at 9 o'clock, and we'll be asking how he has survived till now. And the major, let me give you one of the questions that will come out as what do they call it in WAEC? One of the questions that will come out is if he intends to marry again. So you want to tune in on Friday at 9 o'clock. Itro Agodalo will be here to talk about 5 years without Ibidoni Agodalo. May her soul continue to rest in peace.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Let's take this other one. I think you mentioned it earlier. Why we dumped Lagos PDP for APC? Spokesman Amode.
I don't know if there's any PDP left, to be honest. I think the last man standing would be my friend who was here, Mr. Pierce. Who was here the other time, Dr. Pierce, PhD. So they're giving reasons why they left PDP for APC. We tend to have our own ideas why that could have happened. Politicians, I tell you, they follow the power and they follow the money. And PDP can't play catch up on APC in Lagos. That is pretty obvious. So if you need the power and if you need the money, you better cross over to where it is going to happen.
Do you think that Chief Bodejo will ever become to any party till he retires from active politics?
Nothing is important, but I don't think. No, he won't. Do you know why?
Why?
He's retiring this year, I think.
Oh,
he says he's going to retire when he's 80. He's that would be very messy. Wow, that would be like defecating in public. That would be very, very messy. He's going to be 80, I think, this year, and what's best for him, like he said, is become a father of the nation. Now, a father of the nation can later have his own inclinations, without being a full-term member. And by the way, it was a sight to see the GAC members come out from a bus. But I think it's time the GAC in Lagos also recruit much more younger people, so that they can have a boisterous GAC to handle the political affairs of the state.
Yeah, indeed. But we have to go now. Yes. Time is up. But you're back at 9?
I'm back at 9.
Fantastic. Lagos, please stick around. Kofi will make a return for the continuation of the Morning Crossfire. Please stay with us.
99.3 Nigeria. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.